back to Kobold Hall, the adventure from the Dungeon Master's Guide. And this is going to be encounter 3 entitled simply Skull Skull. So we'll find out what that Skull Skull is. Actually, it's up here. It looks like Skull Skull is a stone, and it is some sort of a trap or something that's going on here. Anyway, we are back and heading into the next section of this dungeon here, the next encounter. Looks like we got some things in here. There's a platform on the other side that's containing some kobold minions who seem to be playing with this Skull stone. And I guess we'll have to find out what this is all going to be about. And on that also too, we have our nice sludge pit, as just like before, about 10 feet deep with 4 feet thick of green sludge. Any creature that falls into the pit is immobilized. Strength DC 13 to break free. And the sludge is difficult terrain. So it's a little bit further down in this little pit here. Ending you move in the sludge, you're immobilized. DC 10 athletics to climb out of the pit. Alright, so not too bad. Here also Skull Stone. The kobolds normally swing it down to hit a skull placed on top of the coffins below. The object of the game is to get the skull to stick to the stone and then grab the skull as it comes back to the thrower. Interesting. So kind of like a, yeah, you have a basically this stone. Let's go down and read some more on it here. It says this sludge-covered stone is tied to a long rope that hangs from a hook in the ceiling. When a kobold throws the stone, it attacks a target and then returns to the kobold on the opposite platform. Trigger, a kobold uses the standard action to attack with the Skull stone. Going to be pretty interesting. We'll see how this all plays out. Back to our adventurers. I've got Andor now here. He had to use a couple surges last encounter, so he's down to 5 out of his 7 here in the third encounter. And then Harbrek, he is down to 10 of 12 on his surges. He again had to use a couple. I think he had to use one in the first encounter and then the one in the second encounter. Mira, Harbrek actually spent a lot of time stuck from the traps, immobilized from the traps. Mira, she didn't use any surges, and Perrin didn't use any surges either. In this encounter, we are going to be going against some kobold minions, some kobold slingers, and some guard drakes that are kind of hidden right now. We'll go down to the bottom of the map here. You'll see a handy-dandy graveyard. Hopefully the adventurers can send them there. They can only see as they're walking in here. We'll see about surprise rounds here in a second. They can only see the kobold minions with the Skull stone, and then the 2 slingers at the bottom of the stairs. So trying to get through this area here, and we have some sort of a wooden door here at heading up to the platform. So let's get back to the top, and let's go ahead and jump right in, and let's see if our adventurers are going to get a surprise round. Let's clear the dice. That was all from last time. Let's see what we got this time. All right, start at the top here. We'll just do it the same way. Obviously, our heroes are going to be moving into each chamber as when there's something else coming out. An opening coming up. I'm sure they're going to be extra stealthy or whatnot. And so what we're going to do is do a group stealth check and then do the average of it to see if, we have to get past the guard drakes of 17, which is going to be pretty hard to get that surprise round. I would think, looking down here at the map, that there is the platforms and stuff that the guard drakes would possibly be able to hear it. I'm going to give them a -2 to that check, since they are behind the doors and a little bit back behind the platform here. So I think I'm going to give them a -2 and make that down to a 15. So let's go ahead and see if our adventurers can get a surprise round in here. Start off with Mr. Andor with his plus 10 stealth. And he rolls a 23. Very, very nice. Nicely done. Going on to the next one, Harbrick with a plus 1. Ooh, that's going to be a 9. Oh, that's kind of low, but we'll see how it works with the averages. Mira with a plus 2. Not bad. 18. And let's go straight D20 with plus 0 for Mr. Perrin. Oh, there is that ominous number 1. Skill checks doesn't matter, but still, ugh. All right, so what do we got here for an average? Nice roll, 23 plus 9. Math, 18 plus 1. So that gives us 51 divided by 4. We're on probably about an average of a 12, which is not going to beat the guard drakes, and it's one shift away from both the kobolds and the minions. So I would say it's an average. It's pretty average on how they're going to, if they're going to get the surprise round or not. I think with the guard drakes, they're going to be kind of alerted. Our heroes will probably see the kobolds kind of look back down the stairs in the area here, back towards the guard drakes, and they probably hear them. They probably won't hear them growling because they're too far away, but the kobolds will hear them growling. And I'm going to say at this point here, we are not going to get a surprise round with that average of 12 for our heroes. So with that, let's go ahead and jump right on into it and roll some initiative and see what happens. All right. That's funny. Skull Thrones at the top. All right. Minion number 1. Let's go next turn. Minion number 1. Let's get down here to him. He's over on the other side. So it's nothing really he can do. He does have a ranged attack he can do, but it has to be within 10 squares, and I don't think there's anybody within 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Nope, just right to the beginning there. Not going to be able to make a standard attack there. So, gosh, at this point, I think he's going to be more waiting for the skull throne to come around when they see our heroes coming through here and want to do something there. But is there anything he can do? I mean, he's going to hold his ground there. He's not going to move. I mean, we could have him ready in action or something, but I guess we could have him we could make this pretty interesting. Let's have him ready in action to use the skull stone, like triple S. We could say he's going to ready in action to attack with it once he gets the stone over to him, which could be before his next turn. Probably not though, because number 4 and number 3 are going to go first. So I think I'm going to ready that attack there. I'm going to do that. I'm going to say ready SSS attack, and we'll leave it at that. And then we'll go on to number 4. He doesn't have anything. Oh, we should have had it would have worked out better for them if they would have had the heroes been able to act sooner in here. But I think what we're going to do with him, he is going to ready an attack to once one of the heroes gets in range, he's going to attack. He's going to ready a standard action. So we're going to ready that too. So we'll say number 4 is kind of holding on to the stone right now. number 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Still too short. Let's go ahead and have him ready a javelin attack. Oh, these kobolds are ready for what's coming at them. All right, and then number 1. Oh wait. Oh, that's Kobold Slinger. Yes. Okay. So we could probably get him in here. The Kobold Slinger, ooh's got a range 20 on the special shot. So let's go ahead and have him. He's facing off. He's going to have to go do a range 20 attack on Andor. Let's have him try that. Let's have him see if he can hit him with some special shot here. So let's do a 1d20 plus 8 versus AC on Andor. Ooh, 25 on Andor is going to be a hit. So basically 1d6 plus 5. Ooh, 9 damage on Andor. Ouch. Starting off not very good here. 9 damage on Andor. He's down to 21. And then let's roll a straight d6 to see which special shot that Slinger used. Number 2 is going to be Stink Pot. -2 penalties to attack rolls, save ends, which will be at the end of his turn. So -2 attack, save ends. All right. Andor didn't like that at all. Ooh, he's probably going to be pretty pissed right now. With that there, we do still have a move action. I'm going to say this Slinger, he's going to move. He can shift as a minor. So we'll have him move. Let's have him go 1, 2, 3, 4. He's going to get right out there. He liked to hit that halfling real quick with that special shot. Now he wants to line up another one before they can get out. But next in line is Harbreck. And you know what Harbreck's going to do. He's coming in. He's going straight for that guy. He's only got 5 movement. But he can move, and then I think he can charge. Let me look up charge again here. Because it's a standard action. So he can go his 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then he can charge from there as a standard action. When a creature takes this action, it chooses the target and move up to its speed. Okay, so it at least needs to move, I think it was like 2 squares for the charge. So, yeah, I'm going to have him charge. But before he gets in there, what I'm going to say is going to happen here, because you see these little red lines. Well, that's the area of the skull stone. So, and I'm going to say number 4, who has a readied action here, is going to wait after his move, and he's going to see when Harbreck goes right there, if he can throw the stone at him and knock him back into the sludge pit. Let's see what happens here. Okay, so rated action for number 4, who is in control of the skull throne. Oh man, there's going to be plenty of these going off here, because number 3 rated in action too, and so did number 1. You know, he rated in action to attack with it. So the skull stone, basically, when the kobold throws a stone, it attacks the target and then returns to the kobold on the opposite side, who is going to take another action to do it. So the kobold uses a standard action, this which they have readied, and it can be used 2 different kobolds each round. Oh, that's deadly. Okay, so skull stone is going 1, 2, 3. I guess the movement doesn't matter. Come over here, trying to smack on Harbreck and knock him back from number 4. So With that attack, one creature in the marked area on the map, +8 versus AC. Now, Harbrick. Does he not? He's got that special movement thing where it pushes him one less. So, the skull, if it hits it pushes you 2 squares, but with Harbrick, it's going to only push him 1 because of his stand your ground. He doesn't have anything against traps or anything like that, but let's see what happens with the skull. So +8 versus AC. Ooh, I don't think that's going to be enough. 12 is going to miss Harbrick with an AC of 19. And then the skull, I'm sure the stone's going to go something like this, go out to its furthest spot, and then it's going to come back to number 1 over here, who is going to send it back over and try to hit Harbrick again. So let's go ahead and put it right here, and we'll take off his readied actions. And then it should return back over to number 4 again. So, skull stone comes up and tries to hit Harbrick yet once again. Ooh, 11 plus, that's 19. That is exactly enough. Okay, so what I'm going to say though is the skull stone. I'm just going to call this the skull stone. It's too hard to say skull. Skull stone is going to be coming in kind of a northeastern direction, so it's got to push him back. When it hits him, it's got to push him back either straight back or off to the right, which it doesn't really matter. He's going to still get his finish up his action, because this does not immobilize him, or it doesn't daze him or anything like that. So he's just going to get a 1d8 plus 2 damage. 4 damage. Ooh, plus 2 is going to be 6 on Harbrick from that big old stone whacking him. So 6 damage on Harbrick, dropping him down to 31. And damage and push 2 squares. But now with Harbrick, he has when an effect forces you to move through a pull or a push or a slide, you can move 1 less square. When it would knock you prone, you make a saving throw. So we're just going to say we're going to move him back this way. Not going to really matter. This will go do its thing, come back over to number 4. And then Harbrick will continue his charge to here. And he is going to charge and do, I think you do a melee basic attack. Okay, yeah. And the creature gets a +1 bonus to the attack roll. Okay, so it's a melee basic, so he's going to just use his maul, and he's going to smash down with a +10 now because of the charge against that slinger. He didn't like it hitting his halfling friend. And that's going to be a 23, which is going to hit him. 2d6 plus 2 damage. Not critical or anything, that would have been nice. And then he's going to mark him too. So we'll take Harbrick. First of all, let's do his 2d6 plus 2. Nice. 7 damage on Slinger number 1. And he is down to 17, not bloodied yet. And let's see, anything else we could do? Not really at this point. Okay. That was his charge, his move. He does have a minor, but he does not need a second wind right now. Nothing else he can really do, so we will move on with Harbrick. He got messed around with that skull, that skull stone. Let's see what goes on next. Mira is up next. All right. So Mira, I think she would be seeing what's going on here. And you know what she's going to do? Wait, we forgot one thing. Sorry, got to go back down. Number 3 has a ready javelin attack. So let's go ahead and minion number 3. Let's have him do his javelin attack against Harbrick as he came into range. We'll say he throws it right there where he's at. +5 versus AC. And that is not going to be a 14 is not enough to hit Harbrick's 19. So let's take his ready to action off. Everybody's back to 0. Now let's go back up to Mira. Okay, so Mira, you know, range 20. That I don't think she really likes that Kobold sitting there holding the skull stone. You know, she could probably drop them both out. What is the range on her? It's within 10, so she could do this. Let's do this. I think we're going to try her to do a scorching burst, area burst 1, but we need her to move forward to get within 10. So if she moved up to here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. She could place it right down there. She could place it and not be in the zone there. She could place it anywhere within 10. Area burst 1. Let's pull it out and take a look here. Drop it on the map. Close it back down. Get it to size. She can drop it right there, and that could hit both of them. So let's give that a try. I don't think there's anywhere else she can drop it to try to get at other people. You know, they're too far away. Let's have her stay right there. Actually, I think I'm going to keep her up against the wall to this side here. And let's have her do her scorching burst. So it's going to be a +6 versus their reflex. We'll start with number 3 first. And that is going to be a 17. Is that enough? It is. They are low on reflex. Well, not their lowest, but still low at 13. That's a hit on number 3. Let's roll it again. +6. Make sure I'm doing that right. Yep, versus reflex. Come on. That's going to be a hit. Yes. So, with that damage, we'll go. I mean, it's a minion, so it's gonna kill it anyway, but we'll go ahead and roll the damage just for the fun of it. It's going to be 1d6 +5. And destructive wizardry, you hit 2 or more creatures, you get a +2 bonus to that damage roll. So it's going to be a 1d6 +7. Just roll it for fun's sake. Pretty low. 9 damage on them both. Number 3 and number 4. 9 damage to the graveyard. And number 4. 9 damage to the graveyard. And we'll go ahead and take that zone away. And let's take these boys down to the graveyard. Now, what I'm going to say, I mean, they're going to drop the skull stone here. And I think it's going to follow its path and come back to the other side. But I'm going to say it is not going to get back to the other side until the beginning, before Mira's next turn. So I will leave it kind of right there. I'll stick it back up over here so like it's kind of slit through. And then when we get back to Mira's turn, we'll put it back to the other side because there's nobody to touch it now. It's just kind of dangling there. They got blasted with a scorching burst. Flames burst up out of the ground, and they just pretty much just dissolved and died instantly right there. Dropped the skull, but it's still on the rope that is tied to it, and it does have its little path that it goes, you know, from right side over and then to the left side. So we're going to say that it'll be over there, but it won't be over there again until the beginning of Mira's next turn. So see, we'll put this, what should we call it? How should I say this? Return Mira turn. Mira. There we go. That works. All right. Mira's good. She does have a minor still left, but I don't see any other. She's just triggered actions. Everything's standard to trigger or other power. So I think we're good to go with what we got. Next turn, Guard Drake number 1 will come down here. Obviously, they are going to, we can't see them at the moment, but this one's going to come up and start scratching against the door. Let me out! Let me out! We'll say he readies a bite attack, just in case somebody he doesn't recognize comes through the door or opens the door. And then we'll go on to Mr. Perrin. Up top. Let's say Mr. Perrin, what does he want to do? You know, maybe he needs to focus in on that other slinger before he gets to take a turn. Mira's doing pretty good. She can take out those minions really, really well because her Scorching Burst is at will. So, Mr. Perrin, knowing he's kind of got some time and seeing the ball kind of following its route, let's have him move up his speed of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's have him shoot off a what do we want him to do? I would say a Lance of Faith. Let's have him do that. Let's have him do Lance of Faith against number 2. So +5 versus Reflex. Against... Ooh, that was almost on that 5. 13 against the Slinger is not enough to hit. Oh, just so close. Not gonna happen this round. He could have gave that +2 to him. Oh, by the way, this one I forgot to mark. This is marked by Heartbreak. Marked by Heartbreak. All right, and with that movement, he does have a minor. Nobody really needs a healing word right now. He's not going to use Bless yet. Nor is he going to use Holy Healer's power. I think is really good. He missed there, though. Missed by 1. That's horrible. He does have a immediate interrupt he can do. Enemy hit an attack. Nope. Score a critical hit. Nope. You gain a +1 bonus to your next attack roll before the end of the turn. Nope. So that's just it. Perrin again jumps right on in, shoots off a Lance of Faith through his holy symbol, and misses, and not giving anything to the party. On to Andor. Andor's got a -2 to his next attack because he got stink potted by number 1. But we're going to have him also, since that Skull Stone is not in the way, I think we're going to have him ready a charge. I'll come up and ready a charge. I just got to see which way he can do that. I guess he could do it this way, yeah. So if he goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then he can go his charge 1, 2, 3 over there. He's going to take a -2 attack on that, knowing that Harbreck's got the other one taken care of. Let's go ahead and have him run up on in there. Now, here again, Andor has this wonderful feat. At the start of an encounter, you have combat advantage against any creature that has not yet acted in the encounter. And Slinger number 2 is 2 initiative steps away. So, with that being said, let's go ahead and kind of scoot the map up here. We can see things a little bit better. Andor is going to come in and he is going to Sly Flourish. I think that's his biggest damage he's got. But he's going to get his sneak attack 2 in there of the 2d8 if he hits. If he gets a critical, oh, it's going to be beautiful. Let's see what happens, though. Let's do a Sly Flourish +10 versus AC. hardly miss at all. Ooh, just rolled off that 20. Did you see that? It was so close. Just tipped right over. All right, 24 is still a hit on Slinger number 2. So let's roll some damage. Life Flourish is going to be 1d4 plus 8 plus 2d8 damage. So 1d4 plus 8 plus 2d8 sneak attack damage. Ooh, this could be good. Ooh, low on those d8s. Only 14 damage coming off of there. Okay, so Slinger number 2. He takes 14 damage. That's a good hit, though. Instantly bloodying him, sitting with 10 hit points left. Nothing really else Andor can do. That was a charge, so that's... He doesn't have any minors he can do. I mean, he has his tumble. You can shift up your speed. But we did it as a charge, which gave him... I forgot to put the +1 on there. That should have been a 1d20 plus 11 for the charge. Or was it +2? I can't remember. It's a +1 to the attack roll. Anyway, big bloodied on there. I think we'll just go ahead and leave it at that. And let's move on to Kobold minion number 2. I think he'll throw a javelin at Andor. So let's do 1d20 plus 5 against Andor's AC. And that is going to be a miss. All right. With that, I think... Gosh, number 1 could be like relaying to him, hey, get the skull and knock these guys out. Knock them into the pit. But they're not really in the pit there. I think with his move action, after he threw his javelin, he is going to move 6 spaces. Let's see what he's got over here. He's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He's going to get to there, and they're not going to be able to see him anymore, but that's okay. I'm just going to highlight these guys up so they're visible. We know they know something's there on the other side. I think what this one's probably going to be doing is it's going to go in and try to open that door to release those drakes on our party. That's what I think he's going to do now. After he does attack and miss, he's got to get those guard drakes in there. Number 1 can wait here for the return of the skull stone and see if he can knock anybody around. With that, we'll move on from minion number 2 to Slinger. Well, Slinger doesn't really like that, and so, you know what? I think with the other one going to the other side, he would have heard him talking that he's going to go open the door. I think he's going to step back. He's going to shift as a minor action. He shifts as a minor action, and then he is going to throw a special shot against Andor again. Oh, I forgot to make Andor save too. I better do that. Let's roll a d20 and see if he saves against that. Oh, that's a 20. There we go. All right, he definitely saved. All right, he is no longer taking that -2. I guess I should have took that -2 into consideration too. He would have been a +9, so he still would have hit with a +9 and the 14. So yes, all good. Retconning a little bit. Now let's go ahead and do his special shot against Andor from there. It's going to be +8 versus his AC. Oh, there's that one. And that is a miss. One is always a miss. So, number 2, waste the stink shot. I mean, he probably, after getting whacked really hard by the halfling rogue coming flying in and just stabbing him and instantly bloody and catching him in a really good spot that did some pretty serious damage, I figure he was probably not feeling too well. He still does have a move action. I guess he could jump off and kind of get some distance between there, so he could jump down to here, because this is not a wall, this is just stairs going up. He's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He's going to get himself up here, knowing that his buddies shouldn't be targeting him as the target of the skull stone, and we'll go from there. The door's still locked here, or not opened, I shouldn't say. I don't know if it's locked or not, but it's not opened. And we will go to guard Drake number 2, who is going to also come over here, get to the door, start scratching and howling, or whatever sound a guard Drake makes. I always picture it like a dog or something, but it's probably growling in some sort of, different tone or something, trying to get through that door, hearing the sounds of battle and death happening on the other side. With that there, he's got a ready bite action just in case anybody opens that door he doesn't know. All right, skull stone, nothing going there. Oh, we're coming back over to Mira's turn. All right, Kobold Slinger number 1. He is going to ready an action. When that skull comes back to him, he's going to attack. So we're going to ready a skull stone attack again. Once it gets back to him, he's got his arms out. He's ready to go. Come on, bring that thing back. Bring it on back. And then we'll move on to Slinger number 1. Ooh, he is marked by Harbrick. Now, he did target Andor, but he's got that dwarf sitting in front of him, so I think we need to shift him as a minor action, use his shifty, and then have him do a special shot against Harbrick. See if Harbrick's ready for this. +8 versus AC. Ooh, that's going to be 25. That's going to be a hit. Doing 1d6 +5 damage. All right, 7 on Harbrick. Harbrick is going to take a 7 hit from the stone, getting him down to 24. And then let's see what kind of special shot he used. Number 4, it's going to be a fire pot. The target takes ongoing 2 fire damage. Save ends. Okay, so ongoing, I'll put this on here. Ongoing 2 fire save ends. I'll just put 2 fire save. Well, that's fine. It works too. Okay, so ongoing, if I remember correctly, ongoing damage happens on, gosh, let me just look it up here real quick. It happens at the end of your turn. Let's look it up here. Ongoing damage rules. All right. The start of the creature's turn. When the creature is subject to ongoing damage, it does not take the damage right away. Instead, the creature takes the significant damage at the start of each of its turns. Okay, so ongoing, I did it kind of reverse. It happens at the start, and the save in happens at its end of its turn. Okay, got it. All right, 2 ongoing fire damage save ends on Harbrick, and guess whose turn's up next? Well, Slinger number 1 still has a move action. He's probably going to want to get some distance away from these guys, so I'll have him just move back here to the corner. Next one is Harbrick's turn. Instantly, he's going to take his 2 ongoing fire damage. So 2 more damage brings him down to 22. And then let's go ahead and have him... what can he do? He doesn't really need to knock him prone. He's got a mark, so if he attacks anybody else, he's going to just keep the mark on him. Gosh. Oh, he's got this move action too, to where he can shift all around him, but he's not going to be able to get... they're not going to be able to get the combat advantage against him with with Andor, especially with those drakes coming up too. This could be interesting. Yeah, because they're probably going to be coming soon. Let's go ahead and I'm going to have him just move up in. He's got to use pass forward. He has to be next to them. So I'm going to just say he goes 1, 2 on fire, and he's going to reaping strike. He's just going to go ahead and do some reaping strike on here. See if you can get a good knock on him to knock him out. So let's do 1d20 plus 9. Oh, it just rolled out that 20 again. That's still a hit, though. Good hit. Number 1 is marked by him. I don't know if there was anything special that happens if he marks it. An enemy adjacent to you provokes... No, it's all provoking. If he does anything that provokes, it will cause some serious issues with opportunities and stuff like that. Every time we attack him. So we'll go ahead and leave the mark on here. He's keeping the mark on him. Let's go ahead and just roll some reaping strike damage. 2d6 plus 6. Ooh, not too bad. 14 damage. Is that enough to take number 1 out? Slinger number 1. No. So close, but he is now bloodied. He's down to 3 hit points. That wasn't too bad at all. He's moved. He doesn't need to use any minors or anything yet, so let's go ahead and move on to Mira here. At this point, I'm going to say that by that time the ball has traveled back at the beginning of Mira's turn to number 1. Actually, let's go ahead and do Mira's turn. Let's do this. I'm going to do its turn first, and he's going to throw it. He won't be able to hit Andor because it's just kind of the trajectory and the angles and everything. He won't hit it, so he's going to have to throw it over here at Perrin, in which then it's going to return to this side. No one's there to do it, and then it's going to have to go back again to the beginning of Mira's turn also. So he's going to throw it at Perrin from his readied action. We'll take off now. And let's do Mr. Triple S here. 1d8, 1d20 plus 8 against AC. Ooh, that is a 19. Is that enough to hit? Yes, Perrin is at a 17. That hits him. 1d8 plus 2. Oops, selected the wrong one. Let's clear that. 1d8 plus 2. Ooh, rolled out that 6. 7 damage on Perrin. Ooh, everybody's getting hit in here. 7 damage on Perrin, knocking him down to 24 hit points. All right, now we're back. Skull Stone goes there, and then it also returns back to here, which there's nobody there to get it, so we'll go back, and I'm going to say it just comes back over to here to return back to number 1. With that, Mira's turn. Well, you know what? Mira doesn't like this guy. Oh, also the Skull Stone. Sorry. Jumping all over the place here. Pushes 2 squares. So he's going to go... It came kind of at the... he's against the wall, so it's looking to go push back that way. 2 squares there. So Mira's going to go over to here. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's have her do that. And she's going to blast off a wonderful magic missile. Range 20 at number 1. No more stone for you. I guess she could blast the rope too. Countermeasures. The rope has an AC of 14, but it's an auto hit. Does 10 hit points. See, and she wouldn't be able to do it. She'd have to do it in 2 rounds, but it does resist 5 to all damage. So it would take 4 damage, and there would need to be 3 rounds. So she's just going to ignore it. If she takes out the bearers of the stone, or the launchers of the stone. She'll just do that. So she's going to shoot off and hit 9 damage on minion number 1. 9 damage on him is going to do him in, and he'll join his buddies down in the graveyard. Back up. Mira still has a minor action. Nothing she has for minors there, so she's all good. That stone is going to return over to the wall and just be kind of bouncing back and forth, not really going to anything. So Mira's turn's done. Guard Drake number 1 still ready to that bite. Perrin, I think he's focused on over here at number 2 now that Andor's looking at. And let's have him do... See, he's got 5 movement. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He can get over those. Those aren't difficult terrain or anything. You know, I think he's just going to come over to here. Or maybe we'll have him go up on top of the coffin. And then he's going to Lance of Faith at number 2, Slinger number 2 here, to see if he can get Andor, who's next up, a +2 power bonus to his next attack roll. So let's try that. +5 versus AC. Oh, 17 versus AC. That's a hit. Number 2, Slinger number 2 is at 13. He is now going to take Lance of Faith, 1d8 +4 radiant damage. Ooh, rolled right off that 8. Oh, that was an 8. Nice. 12 damage. I think that's going to do him in. It does. Slinger number 2, 12 damage, for max damage on there. That's going to send number 2 down with his buddies to the graveyard. Let's get him down there. Hey fellas. Yep, that will do him in. So it's going to be kind of worthless, the +2, because with the Lance of Faith, one ally you can see gets a +2 bonus to his or her next attack roll against the target. So that's just kind of have to go by the wayside. Doesn't really matter. Andor's up next. Everybody's reacted. I think he needs to finish off number 1. So let's go ahead and have him do... I mean, he's got how many scores? 1, 2, 3. He's got 3 he has to move. I don't think I'm going to have him use his tumble yet. I think I'll just have him do a regular... I mean, he can charge again. Let's just have him charge. Straight line right towards number 1 as a standard action. Boom. And he'll do his... Oh, give the charge. I think I did a slight flourish last time. I'm just going to have him move, not the charge. I think I did mess that up. He should have been... He's not able to use a slight flourish as a charge attack. He could only do a melee basic. So I'm just going to have him move up and do his... unless he wants to do a positioning strike here. No, I'm going to save it. I'm going to save it because I know they know something's on the other side of that door. It sounds pretty ominous. So we're just going to do a straight 10 versus AC. And hopefully we can get a critical here. Nope. 5, still 15 versus AC on Slinger. That's going to be a hit. So he will do 1d4 plus 8 damage. And minimum roll 9 damage on number 1. Is that enough to get him? I think that might be. It sure is. He's got 3 left. 9 damage. And number 1 joins his comrade and comrades in the graveyard. All right. Hero's cleaning house here pretty well. I'm just going to go ahead and stick the skull stone over here I'm going to take it all off because it's pretty much out of play now. It was a fun little trap going on there. It did a couple, softening of a couple characters there. That's about it. Andor still has a minor. He doesn't need to do anything else. He already moved. He attacked. Moving on. Cobalt minion number 2. We are going to have him come up, and he's gonna, we'll just keep him right there, and he kind of reaches over. I'll have him placed in the square there when they move. And guess what? He's opening the door. Opening the door. Door's wide open. And he moved. He used a standard action to open the door. Guard Drake number 1. All right. I would figure he's going to open the door, and as he comes down, first person he's going to see is Andor and Harbrick. Perrin's standing over there too, but they're closer. So Guard Drake number 2's got a movement of 6. So 1, 2, 3, jumping down. I'll take his ready bite away because no one came up and it was on his turn. And he is going to do a bite against Andor. So 1d20 plus 7 versus AC. Is that a hit? 16 against Andor is not a hit. Andor kind of readied, understood that we're there. Doesn't fall for it. All right. Move in a standard. He's got nothing else. Skull Stone's not really in effect. Harbrick. Now we can do something special with Harbrick. He's not adjacent yet though. But we can have him move 1, 2, 3. Oh, how can we do this? Oh wait. Harbrick's gonna first of all take his 2 ongoing fire damage. Arrgh. Did I roll his save? I thought I did roll his save. I think I forgot. Let me roll his save real quick, see if that's still going. Oh, got the 10. Nope. It's off of him now. He saved. All right, so he's got to get around that Guard Drake somehow. So he could go 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 in that way. That way he's not near any taking any opportunity attacks and get on the other side. Got combat advantage against it. They're flanking. And he can go ahead and do, let's see, what do we want him to do? Maybe have him do his spinning strike at this time to knock it prone so it can't get up and can't move, and then Andor's ready for it. So let's do that. Let's do the spinning strike, and we can have him mark it, because then if he decides to attack Andor, we get an opportunity attack. So, all right, spinning strike, plus 9 versus AC. So 1d20 plus 9. Oh, just rolled off that 10. 12 is probably not going to be enough for the Guard Drake, which is not. But he did get 2 more, so that's 14. Is that enough? No, just 1 more. We could have got that, because the flanking, I think, gives you plus 2. Let me just check this out. I want to make sure that there's not something else we missed here. Yeah, when you're flanking, you get combat advantage. And when you have combat advantage, you get a plus 2 to attack rolls against the target, granting combat advantage. But no matter if the attack hits or misses, with his combat challenge, he gets to mark him. So, mark Harbrick. And, okay, so there was nothing else it could do to bolster that. you get a +2 bonus to attack rolls on opportunity attacks. Well, that's not what we did here. We just did a flanking attack, which we rolled a 1d20 plus 9. So we got a 12, and he actually got a 14. So it was 1 away. That's all. There's nothing else we could do. Yeah, that's it. Nothing else to actually add that on there. He did his move. He doesn't have any minors. On to Mira. You know what I think Mira wants to do? I think she wants to place another Scorching Burst down, but it's got to be within 10. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's have her go. She was here. Get a better angle on all this. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then she can see those two down there a lot better when she brings out her Scorching Burst again. Let's drop that out there. Shrink it down to the right size. Let's have her place it like right there on the first Drake, right over the top of him. All right, so we're going to attack that Drake first with a Scorching Burst. So a +6 versus reflex. 13 plus 6 is a 19. Guard Drake has a 13 reflex. That's a hit on number 1. Let's go ahead and roll the same thing. Oops, I'm doing it wrong here. 1d20 plus 6. This will be on the minion, number 2. Let's see if we can hit him. That is a 1. That is completely a miss. And with a miss, Scorching Burst doesn't do any damage on a miss. But anytime a miss hits on a minion, they do not do any damage. A miss attack never damages a minion. So, well, it hit the Drake, which is good. So let's do a Scorching Burst, a 1d6 plus 5 fire damage. Come on, max damage. That would be minimum. 6 damage on number 1. The Drake number 1 is next. All right. Down to 42. Oh, there are really good hit points on there. She moved. She's standard. I guess she could heroic effort that. To take out that minion. Gosh, but do we want to save it? I mean, these Drakes could be coming down into... Yeah, that just leaves just the Drakes, though. So if she heroic efforts, you miss with an attack roll, you gain a +4 racial bonus to the attack or the saving throw. I think I'm going to have her do that just to take him out. So she would roll the damage, which would be the 6 damage against the minion, and that will take him out to the graveyard. So, and Mira will use her heroic effort for this encounter. Used. And he gets... Everybody is done, except for the Guard Drakes. The Guard Drakes are still in motion here. What's happening with my... There it goes. Alright, got him. Alright, this is what we're left with. Yeah, what round are we in here? Round 3. Ooh. Okay, Guard Drake's left. He didn't hit with his spinning strike, so this one's not prone. That really stinks. Mira's done her turn. On to Guard Drake number 1. Where does he want to go? Mira just attacked him, but he's also seeing the dwarf coming down there. Does he want... Let's go ahead and roll a d6, and we'll say odds are Mira. It's got a 6 movement, though. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, it can get over there. Let's say odds are Mira, evens are Harbrick. Odd. It's going after Mira. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Coming after the wizard with a bite. +7 against AC. 11 plus 7 is 18 is probably going to be a hit. Yep, against 15 there. Ooh. 1d10 plus 3. Ouch. This could be bad. Ooh, rolled a 9. 12 damage on Mira. Oh, poor Mira. Now, let's see here. Does she have anything reactions? An enemy moves adjacent to you. Ooh, here we go. Immediate reaction. Okay. All right. Let's do this. Let's do this. And then she has shield too. You are hit by an attack. You gain a +4 bonus. So, do we want her to go do Moonstride? Because now, immediate interrupt. You are hit by an attack. So she's hit by an attack. We already rolled the damage. It's 12 damage. I haven't put it on yet. She could, an enemy moves adjacent to you. So when the enemy moves to her, she could become insubstantial until the end of your next turn. Then you shift 2 squares to a square further from the triggered enemy. So she could negate its attack, period. Okay, that's one way if we do Moonstride. The second one would be shield, which is an immediate interrupt. So it gets hit, and then she would still maintain the hit, and then you get a +4 bonus to AC and reflexes until the end of your next turn. I think we're going to go Moonstride. We're going to have her do that. That's an immediate interrupt. Let's use that. And then what's going to happen is that's going to negate any sort of hit, because once the creature moves in, let's take off this readied bite because he's no longer readied before. It comes in, moves adjacent, and Moonstride, immediate reaction. When it moves adjacent, you become insubstantial until the end of your next turn. And so let's go ahead and let's move her 2 squares. 1, 2. And she is insubstantial. What does that mean? It means to me kind of like invisible. You become a mist. Let's look it up. Let's look it up. Oops. Here we go. When a creature is insubstantial, it takes half damage from any damage source, including ongoing damage. Oh. So, okay, so it's immediate action, but the immediate reaction is off of the enemy moves adjacent. You become insubstantial until the end of your next turn, okay? Then you shift 2 squares to a square further from the triggered enemy. So that's the whole effect that happens. So it moved, it didn't do the attack yet, it doesn't get an attack because it moved its distance. So it still should have a standard action though. It can replace the standard action with a move too. So we'll have it move up there against Mira. Okay, very interesting usage of Mira's encounter powers here. Yep, that did help and saved her from 12 damage on there. We'll go ahead and move off from there. Perrin is next. He just really needs to get attacking on that Drake. I guess we got 2 Drakes here. One at the top, one at the bottom. Actually, 1 at the top, 2 at the bottom. Let's, what can he do here? I mean, he's got grasping shards, but that's only 3 radiant damage, and the target could be slowed. But Mira's going to only be able to shift to kind of get some distance between her and that Drake to try to get back towards Perrin. So, is there anything Perrin can do to bolster her? mean, he could Sacred Flame. She could get temporary hit points. I mean, he could come over and he could Healing Strike, but she's not taking any damage yet. She is still at 27 of 27. Grasping Shards just makes him slow. He's not going to use his daily yet. Healer's Mercy. Can spend a Healing Surge, and then he's weakened. Nope. Each bloodied ally in the burst. Nope, nobody's bloodied. So I guess we just go a Lance of Faith again, and hopefully it hits so Mira can get a +2 to her next attack roll. So let's go ahead and have him move here, and then have him Lance of Faith, which is going to be 1d20 +5 against the Guard Drake. Ooh, nice. 20 should be a hit. Yes, 20 is a hit. That's good. All right, 1d8 +4. Oh, I just rolled out that 7. 8 damage on Guard Drake number 1. Nice. Nice, nice, nice. All right, down to 34. Mr. Perrin, not bad. He does have a minor. I think he's okay right now. Everybody's okay. He's just getting himself ready for Mira to kind of move back and get out of the way of this Drake. She is insubstantial, so she could take half damage. She could possibly do a she could probably, try to move away, get further away, and take an opportunity attack from doing that. We'll see on her next turn. Andor's up next. Andor has got combat advantage. Yes, yes. This would be a great time for a critical hit right now. So, let's go ahead and, do we want a positioning strike right now? I think we do. You can slide the target 3 squares, but I don't want to move him away. I think we stay right here. Because I think that Drake is probably going to shift away as its move action on its turn. So let's go ahead and what would be more better? More better. What would be a better option right now? I guess the Sly Flourish is our best option. 10 +10 versus AC. It's going to be kind of hard to miss, as it could happen. And we got +2 for the combat advantage, so that's going to be a +12. Let's see what happens. Come on, 20. Yes! There you go. Perfect timing for a critical hit, and perfect hero for that critical hit. We did a Sly Flourish. Okay, let's figure this all out. Okay. With his Dueler's critical, it increases to a 1d8 if you have combat advantage, which he does. And also, he's going to get his sneak attack damage. So, he's going to do 2d8, 3d8, plus 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 damage. Woo! That is nice. All right. So, gosh, I got to add that all up now. 3d8 plus 12 damage. Is that right? Yeah, because I got 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Oh, nice, nice critical hit. Now, I got to make sure before I do this that his duelist daggers are the ones that actually, on a critical, they increase from a D6 to a D8. That's how he got the third D8. And then the hit is maxed, which is a 1d4 plus 8. That gives us our 12. Okay, rolling it. Oh, look at that. 30 damage on number 2, who had not been hit yet. Oh, perfect time for a critical hit. Boom. Down to 18, instantly bloodied. And yeah, nice hit, Andor. Nice time for a critical hit. All right, he still does have his move action. You know what? I may just have him shift. Because that Drake is going to get a yeah, but then if he shifts, he could go further away and out of combat advantage. So I'm going to have him leave right there. We have things that we can do against the Drake if he shifts 1 squares. He is, you know what we could do though? We could actually have Andor move, provoke an opportunity attack from the Drake so that Harbrick will get his combat challenge against the Drake. Do we want to do that? We could just have him move, you know, 1 square or something. I don't know. Let me think about this, because where would I move him? I mean, I could move him here, but then the Drake could slide there, and then we could no longer get combat advantage against it. I mean, I guess we could. Andor could go back there, and he could go there. So let's do that. Let's do that. Let's see what happens. Let's see what the dice gods say. Andor, he gets his +3 to AC versus opportunity attacks. So obviously the guard Drake, being an animal that it is going to take its bite attack against Andor for an opportunity attack. It's his melee basic. So it's going to get +7. Oh, it's gonna miss because Andor's AC is now 20 and 12 is not enough. But then Harbrick has every time, where's it go? Whenever an enemy marked by you is adjacent to you and slides or makes an attack that doesn't include you as the target, you may make a melee basic attack against that enemy. And then his combat superiority, and an enemy adjacent to you provokes an opportunity attack by leaving a square or using a ranged or an area. Okay, you gain a +2 bonus to the attack roll of opportunity. Okay, by provoking an opportunity attack. All right, you can take only 1 opportunity attack during the combat's turn. All right, well, I thought there was something else he does with it too. I think he just does his melee basic, so it's going to be a +9 versus that's combat challenge. You gain a +2 bonus to attack rolls and opportunity attack, so he's going to get 9, 10, 11 on that opportunity attack. And that's going to hit. Love it. 2d6 +2. And there was no extra damage because it was the +2 to the attack roll. Okay, so 2d6 +2. Not bad. That is 9 damage onto Drake number 2. He's hurting pretty good. He is hurting. Down to 9 hit points. Seriously bloodied. Not too bad for a turn there, Mr. Andor. Knowing your friends, knowing the situation. Awesome. Now Drake number 2. All right, let's do this. Because if he shifts away, I mean, if he shifts away over to here, that's going to trigger another opportunity attack. You can take only 1 opportunity action during another combatant's turn, which was Andor's turn. Now it's the Drake's turn. You can take any number during a round. So there you go. So if he slides over there, he's going to take another opportunity attack from Harbrick because he's marked, and he leaves an enemy adjacent to you provokes an opportunity attack by leaving a square or uses a ranged power But this also would be him attacking there too. I guess he could throw a dagger as an opportunity attack also. But I'm working on the one where he moves away for right now. Shifts or makes an attack that doesn't include you. That would be a shift too, where he would get the attack to get over there. But if he just moves, both Andor and Harbrek would get it. So, maybe the better one would be to shift here, but it's still going to provoke, because whenever an enemy marked by you is adjacent to you and shifts or makes a melee attack that doesn't include you as the target. And which one is he going to attack? I think he would probably go back. Well, I mean, he just got critically hit by the halfling, and then he got slammed with the maul by the dwarf. So I don't know. I guess we leave it up to the dice gods. So I would think it'd be more prudent for him to shift here. He would not provoke an opportunity attack from Andor, kind of sulking away from it, turn back and attack at Harbrek. But now that shift is going to provoke an opportunity attack from Harbrek. So let's go ahead and run that one through here first. So he makes another 1d20 plus 11. And that's a critical hit. Oh my goodness. That is a critical hit right there. That's going to do 2d6 plus 2, so 12 plus 2. So that's 14, and then he gets to roll a 1d10 against a marked target. So 1d10 plus 12 plus 14. 1d10 plus 14 damage. Oh my goodness. Yeah, this just kind of worked out perfectly for those critical hits at that time. Low roll, but it's still 17 damage on that Drake number 2. He didn't even get a chance. He didn't even get a chance to attack. Damaged and gone to the graveyard. He is no longer marked. He is no longer alive. Let's go ahead and put him down to the graveyard. Number 2. Waiting for his buddy to come through, which hopefully will be short. We'll see. Skull Stones out of the picture. Harbrek is up next. He is going to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He is going to get he's just going crazy here. I mean, 2 critical hits on this one down here. He's feeling pretty good. He's going to unload on this one here. Let's see what he wants to do here. I mean, his best thing is just to do a straight reaping strike and hopefully do some big damage. He could do his spinning. I mean, he already used his spinning. I gotta take that off. He used it against the one down there, and he did not hit to knock it prone. He missed. So let's just go ahead and reap it. We're not going to use our daily power, and we don't need to knock, but we can mark it so it can try to forget about Mira when she moves away. So, Reaping Strike with combat advantage is going to be another 11. Let's see what happens. Oh, he misses. Gets a little bit too happy about that roll getting in there. And one is always a miss when it comes to a combat. So nothing else he can do. Doesn't need the minor, doesn't need the second wind or anything right now. We'll go ahead and go on to Mira's turn. All right. Oh, but he can mark it. So we're going to put mark by Harbrek. Okay. Mira, she's going to shift one away. And she is going to blast it with a magic missile, doing 9 damage to it. Damage down to 18. Whoops, I did that on Mira. Drake number 1, 9 damage. Down to 25. with that there, oh, I guess she could do a move as insubstantial, provoke an opportunity attack, then Harbrick would get his turn again. Let's do that. She'll do her magic missile and the 9 damage there. We're just going to say she moves away there, and she'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. She's going to take herself back over to here. Or we'll put her 6 over here back to the corner. Let's see the opportunity attack. Is an immediate interrupt challenge. Makes an attack that doesn't include you. So first of all, we're going to do Harbrick's immediate interrupt. Now on Mira's turn, and you can take only 1 immediate action per round. Oh, a creature can take only 1 immediate action per round. Okay, because the combat was a opportunity. Okay, so her moving and provoking an opportunity attack when it is marked by Harbrick. An enemy adjacent to you provokes an opportunity attack by leaving a square or using a ranged power or an area power. Okay, it didn't do that, but it can, a creature can take only 1 immediate action per round. So he cannot use his immediate action again that he used down there, because he uses combat superiority on 1 and his combat there. So I guess maybe we won't do that. Let's just have Mira just kind of go to her spot there, or have her move just right there. I think better right there. Just go diagonal 1 as a shift. Won't provoke an opportunity attack. And and then she does her magic missile to do the 9 damage onto Drake number 2. Alright. Next turn, Drake number 2, because there was nothing really else Mira was going to do minor action wise. Nope. Sure, I used that. You were hit by an attack. You getting that? Nope. We're all good. All right. Drake number 1. I think it's going to turn back around and it's going to attack at Harbrick. It could go somewhere else. It can't. Well, there again, Harbrick's combat superiority, leaving a square, an enemy adjacent to you provokes an opportunity attack by leaving a square or uses a ranged power. You gain a +2 bonus to the attack roll against the opportunity attack. You can take only 1 opportunity attack during a combatant's turn, which is now the Drake's turn, and you do that. So, does the Drake want to go after Mira again, or go after Perrin? I guess it could get in the same spot there. A little bit more squishy heroes. But it will take an attack from Harbrick if it moves away or not. Let's do this. Let's leave it up to the dice gods. Here again, odds. It's going to move next to Perrin and Mira. Evens, it'll stay and attack Harbrick. 1d6. Evens, it stays and attacks Harbrick. All right. A bite, +7. And that is a 15 against Harbrick, which is a miss. It still does have a move action, but if it moves, it's going to provoke. So, I mean, it's focused on Harbrick. I think it would stay there. Perrin, you're up. All right, Perrin's going to shoot off a Lance of Faith again. Oh, I guess Mira did have a +2 from his last Lance of Faith, but yeah, that's not good. It didn't really do anything because it was a magic missile. So let's do this now to where he can, let's have him shift 1 here. So he's kind of there protecting. Oh, and Mira's insubstantiability goes off now because it's the end of her turn is what it did. You become insubstantial until the end of your next turn, which that was the end of her next turn. All right, Perrin, I guess he can't. We'll have him shoot his Lance of Faith while he's back there. So 1d20 +5 versus reflex. Ooh, is that a 16? It sure is. 21's going to be a hit. 1d8 plus 4. That's going to be 8 damage onto that Drake. Okay, he's down to 17 and bloodied now. Perrin will now move forward and kind of block the way for that Drake coming through. That's focused on Harbrek right now. Andor is next. We're going to do something tricky here. He's got 1, 2, 3, 4, where he moves in next to it. And then he's going to use Tumble as, I guess that's a move action. Yeah, that won't work. You can shift up to your speed. So 1, 2, 3. He was down here. Yep. How do we want to get him in there? I mean, he can. 1, 2, 3, 4. He's got flanking with Perrin. He's got combat advantage again. All right, let's do that. That works. That was his move action, so he didn't use his tumble power. He is just going to go ahead and do a standard move up there, and then he is going to Sly Flourish again onto number 1. So that is going to be a 1d20 plus 12 for flanking. Come on, critical. It'd be beautiful. Twice in this encounter. We've had 3 critical rolls. That is just wonderful. I love it. I can't believe he just hit a critical again. I totally didn't expect that to happen. Okay. Sly Flourish. Here we go again. We're doing 3d8 plus 12 damage. Let's see what we kind of do here. Wow, that's a lot of damage. Oh, I had some minimal rolls, so there's the 2. That fell off that 1 onto a 2. Still 20 damage is going to be enough to take out the Drake. Maybe Andor has some sort of a thing against drakes or something. I don't know. Maybe just because they're a larger, creature. I mean, a drake is what I guess it's a small creature. So, but wow, twice there. Bring him down to the graveyard. Yep, looks like all our fellows in this area of the Kobold Hall are now dispatched. The Skull Throne, I think, is just kind of bouncing back and forth between the 2 areas, not really being any sort of effect to have any sort of push behind it to push anybody out there. So the heroes are safe from the Skull Stone. They've dispatched all the enemies, but they have taken some pretty good hits this round from that Skull Throne. Let's go ahead and remove the Skull Throne from combat, and let's remove all the creatures. I guess we could. Where'd they go? End the encounter. This will reset monster health and powers until the end of. Okay, that's fine. Oh, did we just kill our guys? Nope, everybody's hit points are there. Now we can remove. Let's remove all the monsters, and let's do some healing. Oof, that wasn't. Those drakes were a little bit tough, but then those critical hits just came through and just took care of those drakes. I mean, 2 critical hits for Andor and Harbrek, and then Andor coming up, getting his combat advantage against it, and knocking that last critical hit in there to, drop number 2 out. All right. Let's see what we got to do for we have Perrin's healing words still that he can use for the encounter, and then reset them all. So with his healing words, you get +3 and an additional 1d6. So let's do Andor first. Let's have him use a healing surge from one of the healing words, and he will get 7 plus, where'd it go? 7 plus 3 plus 1d6. So basically 1d6 plus 10. That's 13 hit points. We'll get back on to Andor. Healing. That brings him up to full. Okay, down to 4 of 7 there. On to Harbrick next. He's got a 9 surge, so we'll do the other healing word on him, where he will get the extra d6 plus 3. And Harbrick will spend his surge of 9, so he'll get the 12 plus 1d6. That'll give him 16 hit points. Does that bring him full? It sure does. All right. Now he's down to 9 of 12. Okay. Next one is Perrin on himself. He's used his 2 healing words. He does have a heal of 7. I think the 7 will take him back up. So we'll just have him use one of his healing, his surges, just regular. But anytime he uses anything with the healing word, he gets the extra 3. It doesn't matter. He'll heal and get back up to full health. So at the end of encounter number 3 in Kobold Hall, the Skull room, or the hall, or whatever you want to call it. Andor is at full health. 4 of 7 surges left. Harbrick is at full health again. 9 of 12 surges left. Mira hasn't been touched thanks to Moonstride. And Perrin got hit once by the boulder. He did some healing, and he's now up to full health, and he's got 8 of 9 surges. So, till next time, this was the encounter for there, and hope you had fun. Thanks.